Peace, and welcome to the Tailored Healing Collective podcast. This is a space where we discuss everything sacred medicine, motherhood, healing practices across the globe, and transformation above all. It is my hope you take each story shared here and find empowerment in your own life, for it is here that we educate the mind to liberate the soul. I'm your host, Taylor. Welcome to another episode of the Tailored Healing Collective podcast. It is, I don't even know, I think it's like 4 a.m. right now. This was not the episode that I planned. I've been on the struggle bus for a few days, but I do want to thank everyone who has taken the time to listen to my show. I hope today's episode helps you because honestly, this is just like another letter to myself. I had notes and everything on what I wanted today's episode to be about, but I have to do this one instead because I feel like I'm so tired right now. Not because it's 4 a.m. I'm used to this. This is mom life. I'm used to being up at 4 a.m., but because I keep waiting for something to happen, and I don't know what it is, honestly. I couldn't even put it into words. You know, I have dreams, and I'd like to think they're pretty specific. The things that I want out of life, the things that I want to accomplish. And for the past few years, especially since having children, I've been like pushing at this dream and pushing at this dream, and I've gotten knocked down so many times. And it's a mental game. It'll be like, okay, we're going to start up this business. No, it's not good enough. Okay, we're going to try it again in another form. Let's release some affirmation cards. No, not good enough. We're going to, try to be a sound bath practitioner and have a big business. Not good enough. And it's knocked me down so many times. And I think adding motherhood into the mix has made it even more frustrating. So I want to be vulnerable about a lot of the things that I've been going through. Outside of building this career, I'm mothering 2 young children, a newborn and a 2-year-old. And I don't really remember life at that age. So I always wonder, will they remember what's going on right now? Obviously, we live in a time where we record everything going on right now, so hopefully, they'll come across this one day and see what I was doing while they were sleeping. Staying persistent, I think, can be so difficult, and I see so many YouTube videos where they'll be like, just stay motivated. I even saw this funny TikTok the other day where it was saying that entrepreneurs will be like, you gotta get up at 1:47 a.m. Don't eat. You can't have fun. And I was laughing because I'm like, this must be what I sound like when I'm talking to the people around me. I'm very goal success oriented, even though I feel like I've produced no results in the past 10 years. And a lot of it is me healing from my childhood, living in a home that was supposed to be super productive all the time. We were always supposed to be accomplishing something, and if you were sitting down, you were lazy and you weren't doing anything. And as an adult now and a mom, I'm kind of looking at it as a different perspective because I keep giving myself these long periods of rest. In the spiritual community, they keep telling you just need to rest. Just let yourself rest and then get back up again. And I'm like, well, I'm not hurting, so I don't need to rest. I think we do need to take time for stillness because creativity is blocked and cannot flow when you're, on autopilot all the time, which is why I make it a habit to meditate. See, and I do not cry on camera. I'll say these are laughing tears. It's just this has been really, really difficult. But when when you think about people like Olympic athletes, like how do they keep pushing? Like I know they're tired. Athletes in general, but Olympic athletes, because their mindset and their brain development works all year round, like on the clock, where it's like, when are they not thinking about the things that they want to accomplish? I think for me, it's not because I'm looking for like one particular outcome. I was fighting for a while with whether it was about me needing to prove something to someone, but I think the only person I'm trying to prove it to is myself. That no circumstances will keep me down from doing the thing that I want to accomplish. And we've had plenty of problems. I had a single out I told everybody I was going to release. DistroKid rejected it because of the artwork. So I'm up 4 a.m. trying to fix the picture, trying to make it work. Not working. Yesterday I had a podcast to put out. Every time I tried to upload it, it kept crashing over and over again. And I think a lot of these things are symbolic. I know most people will be like, oh, that's just happening. And my husband, I went to go wake him up for the gym, but he's tired, so he's resting. He's like, honey, just go to bed, just rest. And it's like when you have this fire in you, like I have a fire burning inside of me right now. I don't know what it is. But when you have a fire burning inside of you, like you don't know how to put it out. I don't know how to put it out right now. All I know is like, it's coming, Taylor. Just keep going. And it's like, when do you rest? In between motherhood, in between, cleaning, in between marketing yourself, making your content, helping your partner run their business, in between no social life really, which like that's another thing I kind of struggle with, not having a social life, because the way that I think, most people I've put myself around are just not there. And I think that's why I resonate a lot with like books on people who are motivational speakers or millionaires or billionaires. It's not for the financial part. It's because when you think a certain way, like you have to be very careful who you surround yourself with, because it only takes one small thing, one phrase, one word to knock you off your path. It only takes one. Last year when I was pregnant, I was attempting business again, and I was pregnant, so we could use that as an excuse, even though I don't really want to use that as an excuse anymore. And I binge watched Grey's Anatomy for like 6 months straight. It was terrible. Like I felt like I had no reason to live other than to create my daughter. But you know what came out of that was beautiful? In March, we took that trip to the beach, and that's what started the podcast. That's what started Tailored Healing Collective. Again, this idea that I've had since like 2016. I had a deep meditation, and I saw myself opening up something. I won't like reveal to everybody what that is, but I saw myself with this place, or in this place, and it's still in my head. It's never left my head. There's 2 or 3 major manifestations in my life. 2 out of 3 have come to fruition already. One was meeting my husband. I met many men that were like him, that looked like him. Mom brain. Making sure I don't hear anybody crying. Hope I'm not snotting. I met many men that were like him. Looked like him. Similar birthdays, similar personalities, and the day I least expected it, he came into my life. And I had pictured him. I wrote everything down, what I wanted him to look like. I wanted him to do this. I wanted him to do that. And the day he walked into my life, I still didn't know what I had until one day I looked back at that book and I was like, wow. Like everything down to the hair, to the family, to the bilingual, like it was crazy. And then my other one was, I was sleeping on a friend's couch. This was before I met him. And every night I was sleeping on a recliner. Actually, it wasn't even a couch, it was a recliner. I would like sit up and like lean it back, and I was sleeping on it for months. And I would always visualize these two babies running in the room, hugging me, calling my name, saying like, "Mom, mom, mom." And the other day we were like sitting in the living room, and I'm looking, I'm like, this is so weird. These two babies who I saw in my dreams years ago, like, they're in the room with me. They're not obviously old enough to be calling me mom. I mean, River is, but Luna is still a baby. But it's like, that's how I know, that's how I believe. Children will make you believe. Love will make you believe, like, that these things are going to happen for you. And that's honestly the only thing that's keeping me pushing right now, is that if I could make that happen, I know that if I just don't give up hope, if I just keep pushing no matter what, that what I want is going to happen. I hear a lot of people these days talking about like reality shifting and reality bending, and I've even talked in a reel about like stepping into the life that you want and pretending like it's there. And that's what I used to do. Like when I was in that recliner, I used to like hug the pillow and like pretend they were my kids hugging me. And now like whenever I lay down with my son, sometimes like he'll just put his arm around me, like when he wants attention and holds me. I'm like, I can't even remember what that feeling felt like being alone, because I always imagined that. I imagined it so vividly. And the fact that it's like real in my tangible reality right now is insane to me. I know it is really, really hard for people to not give up on their dreams. Like, this world will swallow you alive. Everything that has happened like this year has just been odd to me. I mean, 2020, like, what the hell was that? I don't know what that was. I don't know why it happened, but it did, and here we are. And I thought this year I was going to start a docuseries. That didn't pan out. I thought I was going to make this like a show. I mean, here we are. So maybe this is like my first show. Maybe if this one worked out this time. I thought I would have friends to help me along the way. And none of that has happened. And those things like that, like, because as humans we think we need other people all the time. And I'm not saying that love is not possible or you should like be a lone wolf all the time, but like, especially for people who are born leaders, they can't go around like looking for everybody's opinion all the time. We're here to serve people. We're here to help guide them. We're here to help make them better. But how do you show somebody better if you're constantly looking around, seeing what everybody else is doing? A leader is focused. They just know. And I know deep down that's who I am, but it's like sometimes, what is it, dysmorphia? Is it brain dysmorphia? Is that a thing? Where my mind will be like, you're not a leader. Go sit down with the group. You're doing too much. Like, I think you've built up this big ego about yourself, and you need to like calm down. And I'm like, okay, let me calm down. Stick with the group. I even I'm gonna be vulnerable about this one too. So when I started off this year talking about mother in the psychedelic community, I did not see too many moms talking about it because it was taboo. I saw one or two, but not like with the intensity, like to spread out like and reach so many people. And it wasn't until that beach trip I decided, okay, it's time. And I have a tendency to get jealous. Nobody knows this because I don't like jealousy. I don't like that feeling. I don't feel like you have something that I don't have. So, sorry guys. So, it's not fair because it's not the truth. We can't compare apples to oranges, but I saw a few women that I knew, not like personally, but that I had interviewed, and they got together with this magazine that I view as big because they have like a large following, and they formed, this program together. And I'm like, what the hell was this podcast all these months? Like, nobody asked me. And that's like another thing about being, different or a leader. I'm like, why didn't anybody ask me for my opinion? I've been talking about it all these months. And it's like, Taylor, sit down. It's like higher self is telling me to sit down and check myself, because those women, that was their path, forming that group, forming that community and that group from others. That was their path. That was not my path. If I was meant to, then I would have been asked. And I think, like, you know, we want to manifest very often. We're looking around like, where's my plate? Where's mine? And we're given all these gifts, and it's like, it's right here. And we're looking around at everybody else's plate, like seeing what they got over there and what they got over there and what they got over there, not looking at how full our plate is right here. I have, like, you know, I struggle with this thing from childhood, like this workaholic tendency. But the thing is, I am passionate about this. I'm as passionate about this as I am about my children. So much that it is hard to, like, put this down to go get to them sometimes. And it's only because I'm thinking about their future. Something in Taylor, if you just, like, go just a little bit harder, or not even a little bit harder, if you just keep working and you keep pressing on, you're gonna blink and they're gonna be 15, 18 one day. And it's not that they'll see the hard work you did, but they'll really understand perseverance. And I don't think I understood that. I never saw, like, what my parents fought through in order to get to where they are. I just like they're just my parents. They're just doing what they're supposed to do. And I think, like, maybe having that understanding can help people grow when you see, like, there were hard times. Like, we don't ever hear about the hard times. We don't hear about the crap that happened. We just see, like, them working all the time. And, you know, that's a big part of why I wanted to do Tailored Healing Collective podcast in the first place, because I wanted people to see, like, this is a real life experience. I can't be fake about this. I'm not going to sugarcoat the story for you because it wasn't pretty. I spend so much time alone, like, and I get looked at very often as, like, too arrogant or mean. And I think I'm just being, like, I've heard it's a symptom of autism, but I try not to categorize, like, maybe I have autism, maybe I don't. But I think that I am decent with, like, emotional intelligence and reading social cues. But I still, like, know that I'm someone who was afraid to tell their truth for a very long time. So I have no option at this point but to tell the truth. The voices in your head will get to you. They'll tell you, go sit down. You did enough today. You know, it'll say, you can take another break. You can do that. But it's like when the human mind starts to develop and pick up on all of these things, and it knows how limitless it is. Yeah, we do need to step back from the screens. We do, because it breaks your focus. We do need to spend more time with family. But, you know, also when you think about this innovation that was done, I bet you that these people didn't take, like, 5, 6 years, 7 years of it not even thinking about it. I'm not going to say that they were constantly working, because, you know, for true inspiration to form, you have to walk away from it sometimes. And I did my walking away from this constantly. I'm always walking away from it. I'm never walking towards it, though. I hear family turning in the bed. I gotta stop for a second. 1 minute. And we're back. But, you know, that's my favorite thing about moms. Moms specifically, because we make something happen even when it seems that there's no way to make it happen at all. I have the constant talk with my husband where, like, it'll be something silly too. Like, he'll be looking for something. I'm like, did you look there? And he'll say, yeah. I'm like, no, you didn't. I'll go look. It'll be there. Or he'll say, like, there's no way, I can't do this anymore. I'm like, well, did you try this way? And then I'm like, no. And then I show him, and then it's done. So, like, those small little tidbits and reminders help throughout the day, like, in learning. Sometimes it's just minor adjustments, ones you don't even realize, that make, like, the biggest impact on the things you're doing. So, for example, I'll just gotta give you guys one, make it realistic for you. I kept trying to upload my podcast. I typically use an app called SoundTrap, and my files kept crashing over and over yesterday. My MacBook has gone, it's on a temporary hiatus right now. So I had to use my old laptop, which I don't like because it's super clunky. It's not Apple, and I'm an Apple head. And I had to download a different program called Audacity. And I was just so frustrated because I tried to upload this file like 7 times yesterday, and each time it kept crashing. I even tried it on my iPad and it kept crashing. So we're going to hope that Audacity comes through for the win today, because the underdog usually, helps out. And Soundtrap is very pretty in the way that it's set up. Like, you have light and dark mode, and Audacity looks like an old piece of I don't know what, but it seems to be doing decent with my audio. We'll see when it comes to downloading and uploading it. But yeah, the voices in your head will definitely try to throw you off your path every single time. And I'm glad that this morning, rather than continuing to listen to somebody else's motivational video, I've created my own. Because the single I even released, Letter to My Future Self, I'm in the song, I'm saying, I know it's easy to forget between the bath, the dishes, the bills. We have so much going on as humans in our everyday life, like so many things that are designed to keep us like in a state of anxiety or panic. Like, I gotta pay this, I gotta do that. That's one reason, like, I like to get on social media, but I don't. Because you got a good portion of the world panicking about everything going on right now, everything from groceries to electricity bills to, just the economy in general. And I realize that the more time I sit constantly thinking about those things, it stops me from walking my path. I'm like, okay, well, what if this gets cut off? And what if this gets cut off? And what if we don't have any more money? I'm like, Taylor, snap out of it. Let's think of some solutions. The time you spend sitting here thinking about your suffering, you create the path of suffering. But the time that you spend thinking of solutions, more things come to you, more ideas come to you, more solutions come to you. And it's the absolute truth. Our body goes in to this state of shock, I've noticed. And I'm not going to give you any scientific studies because I can't think of any off the bat. And I'm not really keen to always read those. But from what I've noticed in my own path, when you're in anxiety, your body just freezes, like you don't know what to do except for panic. And then the panic brings the sickness, and then the sickness brings the laziness and the tiredness, and I can't do this anymore. And when you don't put those things at the forefront of your mind, like I don't watch the news because I already know what that's going to make me feel like. And I kind of had to learn that lesson the hard way because my husband, somebody tried to scam his business. Like somebody abroad somewhere, and I thought of this bright idea to reach out to the news because I've been on the news a couple of times, not because I love the news, like I don't watch it, I just wanted to see myself on there. I know that sounds like really bad and selfish, but I just wanted my story to be out there. In any way I called the news, we got interviewed, and that it never aired. Like every day it was something. Like the anchor who told us that it was going to be on, like she even texted me and was saying, okay, the show's going to be on, it's going to be on. Every day was something. And then I get through the news and I scroll through these stories, and it's like, man shoots woman inside of Superdome, and that's not what happened, but it's like all negative news. The other one, breaking story, apartments on fire. I'm just like, what the hell? Why? And then I think, Taylor, why would you want to be a part of this? Yes, your husband wants the business and the business will come, but do you want it in this way on a platform where everything is meant to be negative all the time? They try to sprinkle in a couple stories about the holidays and all of that, but they even they were showing homeless kids on the street freezing, recording them. Why are you showing this? But we know it's the news. Won't get into that today though. What's important is creating your space of positivity. And that's even hard because in this generation, they'll be like, that's toxic positivity. Don't practice it. Nobody said act like nothing is happening, but you have to act like nothing is happening, literally. Creating your own world means shaping every part of it, your environment, the people you interact with, the media you consume. You have to think of it like, a bubble, and you're pushing away everything you don't want. I don't want this. I don't want that. I don't want this. I don't want that. You're not thinking about that. Your eyes are focused on this prize right now. So that's how I've been feeling lately. Like with everything I try to accomplish, it's like, oh, look, they're doing this over here. I'm like, okay, gotta stay focused, because I was having a whole like panic attack. I'm like, oh, about the whole psychedelic thing I told you guys about the group forming and, having this big course. And I'm like, well, what about me, Taylor? Your plate's right here. Well, what about the news over there, Taylor? Your plate's right here. I hope that down the line, this is one show that goes through that everybody sees and understands. Like, stop looking at what everybody else is doing. People are going to say, oh, just don't do this. I even had my best friend, and this one is going to be a little hard to be vulnerable about, because whenever I tell my truth, they're like, oh, no, Taylor, don't say that. That's too loud. Or you might come off as too rude. This comes from the bottom of my heart with the most love. My best friend, I love her very much. I love her with my entire heart. But I notice sometimes we hold on to friends very tightly because they're a part of like our core memories, things that brought us joy, or people who are there for us. And we hold on them so tightly that we cannot progress forward. And if you are to step into the person that you're supposed to be, like changing your form, you have to think like, who would I hang around? Who would I talk to every day? If it's not someone I can learn from, or someone that I'm getting constant positivity from, why am I around them? And every time like I would try to like motivate her, even like talk about like my dream life, it would just never really align. And we'd be like, okay, well, I love you from where you're at. I love you from where you're at. And I think that's fine. I think it's very important to love people from where they're at. That's a hard lesson I'm learning myself, especially when I get annoyed. But when I think about this person I want to become, honestly, if I had to be honest with myself, she doesn't have many people around her. She has her family, like her direct family, and that's pretty much it. Because people are a collection of their influences and the people around them. And sometimes talking to her did not feel very positive for me. It didn't feel like she believed in like the impossible like I did. Like, I see the impossible happening for me. And for me, it's not impossible. It's just not here yet. And it's like when you're on a psychedelic trip and you see the vision of everything around you, you see other realms and realities. And then the sober person is sitting next to you like, I just see the sky. And I'm like, I see 30 different universes. I took a psilocybin trip last year, and tears are streaming down my face. I mean, it's common when you experience these things, your emotions are on a high. And I'm sitting next to my husband, and I see him, but I'm looking at him, but I see like this other background. I see like where we're sitting. I see this mansion. I'm gonna be honest, it was a mansion. And I know that probably is like, oh, well, you just see mansions because you were looking at him all the time. No, I saw him, but he wasn't himself. He was dressed differently, and he carried himself differently. And it was like, collectively as a whole, I'm looking at the same person, but I had this other field of vision where I saw him sitting there as someone else. And I was just like overwhelmed with emotion, like, it's you. And he's like, what are you talking about? Like, it's you got it. But I also have this gift to be able to see like other people and who they could become. Like, I can see into other realities. And I didn't like always like mentioning that because it's a little weird. Like, what do you mean you can see into other realities? Just psychic or something? Like, I guess that's a word for it. And then of course, psychedelic medicine, sacred medicine can help assist you in that. But the same way I saw that for him, I've seen it in myself. I've seen exactly who I am and who I become. I know who I'm becoming. Just here in my PJs at 4 a.m, struggling to upload a single and a podcast has not been the easiest at all. It's been quite annoying, actually. But here we are. It has to start somewhere. How do you think you get to the top of your dreams, wherever they are? That doesn't mean you have to be the president of anything. Like, you have to start somewhere, and it doesn't always look pretty. I was like, should I just go put like a nice shirt on and, sit in front of this camera? And I'm like, nope, because my podcast is about vulnerability. and being real and being honest. And the honest truth is, these are my PJs. I was up stressing at 4 a.m. because I've not yet been able to get this podcast out because I'm supposed to be releasing every Tuesday. And here I am in my PJs, giving you guys the real deal. Like, I'm crying, I'm struggling, but I'm pushing. I'm pushing it and I'm making it. And this is me talking to future Taylor, the one who already has everything that I imagine, everything that I dream, the one who has created the life of her dreams. I'm talking to her right now, or she's talking to me, she's speaking through me. And I think it's important to let your future self speak through you, not to you, but through you, because they already know what that life looks like. They're not like making it up. They live in that reality right now where everything that you want to happen has already happened, so they don't have to like fake it till they make it. I even saw, this is probably what brought me to this. I was watching TikTok last night and it was a scene from this show Pose, and I think it was like maybe one of the final scenes, and then one of the characters is saying like they were talking about like how they used to go to these balls and how they weren't faking it, they were just practicing for like the real world. And this is my practice right now. This is me practicing for who I become, the speaker, the motivational speaker, the lecturer, you know, the owner of Tailored Healing Collective. This is how she speaks. She tells you to keep pushing even when it looks hard. She tells you be careful who you put yourself around, because it will shape your environment and who you want to become. You know, she's telling you visualize as hard as you can. I mean, down to the specific detail, even if it's like the color of your shirt. What would this person wear every day? What would they do? Who would they be around? What would they eat? What are their hobbies? What do they do for a living? Listen to them. They know what they're talking about. Don't deny them like, oh, that's just false. No, it's not. They live in that reality. That version of myself, she's talking. This is her talking right now. This is not the me who is, you know, thinking that I'm never going to get this show out, or this is never going to happen. These lessons happen for a certain reason. They have to. You don't learn taking the easy route. You don't learn giving up. I mean, you give up, you learn, like, as long as you get back up again. So yeah, you know, I hope this talk helps someone, because it's helping me right now, because I'm like in tears trying to figure out, why is this happening to me? Why is this so hard? Why can't I get it right? And yet here I am on this podcast, on this show. Hopefully this one comes through. It will. I'm going to stop saying hopefully. You got to stop doing that too, because I do it. We can't use words like hopefully. Hoping is that you don't believe it yet. I hope it'll happen. No, it will happen. Whatever you want is going to come through. You have to affirm it. I affirm that every single one of my dreams is going to come true. I affirm that I am exactly where I need to be in order to get to where I want to go. I affirm that my future is bright, and that anything I perceive to be a struggle is only one more stepping stone to get me to where I need to go. So, until next time, this has been the Tailored Healing Collective podcast. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Feel free to leave me a comment or review, as this is my first video. Or if you're just listening to the audio version, let me know how you feel about the show, how you feel about motivation, pushing yourself, giving up. I would love to send you words of encouragement, let you know, like, you've got this. I know it does not feel like that, especially moms. I know it feels like it's just easier to just take care of the babies, because if I give something else my focus, that means I don't have to focus on myself. But they need us. They need us to be the leaders. They need us to step up. So, until next time, this has been the Tailored Healing Collective podcast. And as always, let love lead the way.
detach from the old, I have a crown of success. I am sure of what is coming, and let the universe do the rest. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I manifest what I want again and again. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I manifest what I want again and again. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I manifest what I want again and again. Time is a dimension that we enter when we choose to align with self that's divine. It first exists inside of our minds. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I manifest what I want again and again. I visualize my desires. I create with intention a new dimension.